I've been speaking for about 6 years now, and I never prepare. So if people have come to my speaks before, they'll understand that it's just literally, it comes from the heart. So basically, I've enjoyed listening to everyone here today, and it's been absolutely amazing. So much so that I've got comfy. Listening to all the inspiring stories and hearing journeys and meeting some wonderful people today. And I think that London Collective's done an amazing job. So I know she's hiding in the background, but please can we give her a round of applause for the amazing work she's done. And yeah, I wouldn't have missed it for the world. I do a lot of corporate speaking, and I speak at multiple events, and I do lots of things. And I always talk about, the feelings that I can do to benefit you guys. But today I'm going to do something different. Let's talk about myself and my journey, because I feel it resonates with a lot of you. Really never had anyone to look up to. We had loads of men in the family, but again, they never took much responsibility. It was more of a case of they just wanted to look after themselves and their little families. So with that, I had to develop my own leadership. And from 5 or 6 years old, I knew what bills were. So I never really had the childhood in terms of playfulness, and it was very much based on responsibility. The idea for Tape was to basically serve you guys, small businesses that needed support. So they didn't have anywhere to go to. Instead, they just had to go to different agencies and different accountancy practices and different marketing companies and ITs, etc. So then I went on the journey to set up Tape, and it took me about 6 to 9 months to get my head around it. So before quitting my job, I made sure everything was right. I was like, okay, you're coming up with a concept now that no one else has created. It's simple, but no one else has created this type of business. Okay, cool. And at that time, I was head of accounts in an accountancy practice that was nationwide. So I was in a very good job, and I was very fortunate in my career. So then on February 19th, I started. I had the weekend off, but I do not know why. And I had no clients lined up. I had a household to feed. It was just literally like, what are you doing? But I went out and about. I was DMing people. I was emailing. I was doing everything you try to do to try and get a client. So then it brought me to Indeed and Read. So I started to look for startups, and I started to look for patterns. So I was like, okay, I could find a client here. So I remember there was this pizzeria in Cheshire. So we're going all the way up now, 200 miles away, that was open in a pizzeria. So then I drove up there, and I met the guy in McDonald's, and he bought me a cup of tea. I remember he didn't have anything, and he said, "What do you do?" And I said, I own this business called Tape, and I was trying to sell it to him, and I was even like trying to convince myself that it was like this amazing business that could do everything. And he was like, "Okay, cool. Yeah, I need an accountant, I need a website, I need the logo, etc." So yeah, we just went with it. And then I did a good job there, and the week after, I think I got 2 or 3 more clients, and it just grew and grew and grew. And we just started to expand and started to reach higher levels. Come the September time, we already had an offer where one of the major corporations wanted to invest in Tape, and of course, it was a straight no. And then we just continued with the path, and then within a few months, TED organically contacted me because they found it fascinating that there was this young brown guy just like talking about politics, racism, just putting himself out there literally, because I was just like, if I was going to go into business, I'm going to fail being me. And I think that's the mindset you should have, because ultimately you're the only person that's going to walk in your shoes and go through your life experiences. So yeah, I just kept saying yes to everything, as you do at the start, and benefit society going forward. And people that follow me now understand. So then my TED talk was so successful that they put it on TED.com, which is like a rare thing. Slim, I don't mind talking about things that could potentially rule out business. And that was from the get-go. I was always big on these, but also serving. Because ultimately I knew if I did a great job, it didn't matter. People just want to make sure that they got their work done and it was done to a high standard. So the business grew, and then we went into lockdown, as everyone hates talking about. But for me, it was quite a positive, because it gave me an opportunity to, dare I say, like reinvent the business a lot more. So then it was the March time, wasn't it? So March to June, I said to all my clients at the time, I think we had under 50 at the time, but it was manageable. And I said to them not to pay us. And they were just like, what? You're just gonna go out of business? But and then I thought to myself, and I said to my team, like I made sure that we had a good cash flow, so I made sure all the salaries were paid, but also we could serve the clients in that interim period, because I knew we'd come out of lockdown. So and then we saw a massive retention. Everyone literally excelled and they just stayed in business. And then I think the lockdown was restricted, and then people didn't want to go back to work. They were like, why should I work for this like bad boss, and I just want to start my own thing. And then we got a second influx of clients that came on board, and then a third in the December, November time. I think that was the next like lockdown interim period. So we saw growth, and then we saw the Black Lives Matter come into play in that period as well. And by then we were already big on diversity. We were showcasing that we had a diverse team, and also we had a brown leader. And with that, we had a major influx of ethnic businesses join us. It grew and grew and grew, and every year to present, well, last year we'll come on to, but the average was probably 100 to 200% we grew, and just me as the founder. And that's just because of my determination and my values being pushed into it. So I've been given so many opportunities, and I think people find it really strange that there's this guy who's happy to talk about things that affect him, and he doesn't really care. And the reason why I don't care is because I'm working with people, be it staff and also clients, that I care about. But I don't really care about the outsiders who feel like I have to tread this way or I have to follow this path. You see it now where they come out, like, we'll use Black Lives Matter for an example, when they're all coming out saying how much they love black people. And then after a few weeks, they're like, we'll just go back to how we were. And then you see it with the Palestine issue now, where you see so many people shying away from it, and they're just thinking about their money. And the reality is that I've come to the conclusion that the money is not important at all. It's what you do, and it's what you do for people and serving. And for us, it's more of a case of like we just continue to serve the clients around the country. We've worked with some amazing businesses. I feel like I'm the driving force of it, because I want to show people that there are good leaders out there. Because right now, as you know, in politics, in business, in any walks of life, we're looking for that leader to save us really from the fire. But it starts with us. We have to get our house in order. I love what I do. And I love serving people, and I love the work we do, and I love the power, and I can gatekeep everything that I do.
But they invested in you, right?
They wanted to invest in us.
So that means they take, sorry.
So for me, I'll say this to you because we're all friends now. The work I'm doing, I think this is not a personal brand thing. 6 years ago, I didn't even have a Facebook. I swear to you. But then people said to me, Imran, you need to get out there. You need to get your voice out there. I'll say Imran Savas so she hears. But I never set out to use it for sales. I just wanted to talk into space. So even now, like all the work that you see I do on social media, it's not for the benefit of anyone really. So one day I can look back on it, even like I scroll back and look at the work I did in 2019-20 and my thought process, and I think to myself, wow, like you were fighting for that cause there, today you're fighting for this one. And I feel this year people become threatened because my profile's growing even more. So things like that is what fulfills me. It's being able to have those relationships and be able to support people. But when you bring in these corporations, what's going to happen? And then you fall into the trap of all the other leaders, where you have to shut your mouth and do what you're told. And you see it firsthand. Like I can see the Palestine flag here, and you see DJ Khaled not say anything, and he's Palestinian. So we don't want to fall into that trap. We want to create new leaders, and that's why I always push everyone in this room and beyond to do better, because it starts with you. You have to push yourself. No one's going to help you. No one's going to help you. I've seen it firsthand. It all comes from the desire and passion you have. And money is not the objective, because ultimately you're going to die. So you want to die fulfilled. You want to make sure that you do something that's positive and you leave a good legacy. And that legacy is doing what you enjoy, and with that it radiates off you. Again, with the mindset, as these people were talking about in terms of mindset and going for it, I stand by that. It's 100%, but also don't let the pound sign be your end goal. Because if it is, you're going to end up doing some dirty things, you're going to end up losing yourself. As I say, if children came to me and said, look, I want to work in a chicken shop, I want to be a cleaner because that fulfills me, that makes me happy, great. Even I come from a brown background where they push you into education, but for me it's finding that purpose and finding fulfillment. And then with that, you're the richest person in the world. I remember going to the gym a few weeks ago at 6 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, having that purpose. And I think my advice to everyone, because we have to wrap up soon, is great. But it's just, yeah, having that purpose. And I think my advice to everyone, because we have to wrap up soon, is just go for it. There's never going to be a right time. There's no real plan. Like with me, as I was explaining to some of the guys before, I haven't got a plan for the next 5 years. I haven't got a plan for next week. Literally one day at a time, because life can easily change. Today I could drive and crash my car and die. It's done. But the work I'm doing today, the fire that I have in the belly, I can do today. Tomorrow comes, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Because circumstances change. You could lose a family member. You could, again, going back to being morbid as it sounds, go into a car accident, you lose your legs, and all of a sudden the plan has changed completely. But you have to pursue what makes you happy. Even if it goes against your family as well, because sometimes your family just want that safety net for you. But if you feel that you can do something and you feel it's going to benefit your soul but also serve others, then do it. You have absolutely nothing to lose. Yeah, we'll have to wrap up to the Dragons then, but thank you very much. And I just want to say thank you to all the speakers again. They've been absolutely amazing. And thank you to London Collective for putting on this event and Kismet Café. Thank you. 21 dollars. They're not doing anything to back it up.
And the tallow cream, so like I said, tallow is really, really rich in A, D, E, and K. I actually feel like I'm on drugs.